in your carrier code, there's a Dragonair, right? Dragonair it actually belongs to Cathay Pacific. And what is the relationship between them? It's almost like a Cathay Pacific is legacy airline. Dragonair is their budget airline, part of the Cathay Pacific. So when you fly long haul, you fly with Cathay Pacific. Once you're in Hong Kong, you'll continue your trip to mainland China, to some short haul flight, and it's going to be operated by Dragonair. So that's their relationship. Okay. So Cathay from Vancouver and Toronto, and of course they do Los Angeles as well. And you see this one, when they say Dragonair service, like what I explained, when it's short haul, it's called operated by Dragonair. Okay, it's discounted airline, so it's cheaper to operate. And I have two videos to show you. These two videos basically talks about the jobs in the future you might get. Some of our students want to be a flight attendant. Some of our students want to work at the airport. These are the two types of jobs you might want interested to work for. And this two video talks about when you work for Cathay Pacific, and what's your daily job? What's the one day? What do you do? Okay? And after watching this video, I'm going to ask you, are you interested in this kind of job? Okay? And Caesar, can you turn off the light? I find it's not a... Thank you. Is
it Grace? Grace for flight attendant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one is airport staff, checking agent.
Hello, I'm Sandy. I am an airport staff. I am working on the very early morning shift.
Now it's 5 o'clock. Everyone is sleeping, but right now I'm on the way to work.
First of all, we are going to the airside to meet arrival flight. And later we will go into departure.
now. Alright.
This is arrival office.
So right now my first task is meet arrival flight CS25 from London.
And arrival time around 7:10. So we will do the preparation to see any passengers need assistance, any passengers landing in Hong Kong, and some passengers for transit in Hong Kong. That's why we need to check any flight connections, and then we will assist the passengers to the boarding gates.
Then you come will be earlier. So now is the time for briefing.
They're using Apollo.
When we finish the briefing, we're ready to the arrival gate number 67. So let's go. Good morning, welcome to Hong Kong. Thank you. Landing 20, thank you. Together. It's first move today. We go into the departure. Departure is more challenging for the job duties because the time management is very important because we need to make sure the flights depart on time and make sure all the passengers on board.
We go into the departure gate number 33, which is the flight depart to Bangkok and Singapore.
First of all, I stand by at the boarding gate. Beginning, we need to do the setup for the computers. After that, our team leader will have the briefing with our colleagues. Once boarding, we will stand by, and then I just make sure every passenger's on board. So sometimes you feel tired, keep talking, keep smiling, and eye contact. This is our job, to provide the customer service, and I enjoy it. After the lunch break, and then we check in for the economy class and business class.
坐啦，呢個啦。
好啦，好，需要輪椅服務啊，好啊，冇問題。I call the wheelchair service for her, and then you just meet her what time and which place to stand by. And she would like to have the aisle seat. At the beginning, for the cinema, we have middle seats. That's why I try my best to help her arrange the aisle seat. I can say I am proactive person, I am outgoing, I like to talk with passengers. They like to talk with you, not only for the job nature.
After 9 years, I still enjoy working with CS. Every day, I need to cope with different type of passengers. So sometimes you need to learn some technical skills and satisfy their needs.
It's a requirement to talk with the passengers. First thing is smile with them, pay more attention to them, keep eye contact. Of course, smile is very important. You just listen and smile and keep trying to take care of them. They will feel more comfortable. After working for 10 hours, I finished my duty now. Thank you. See you guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
So this is a CSR, Customer Service Agent. That's her job, and checking agent. And this is working for a big airline. And so you find her job is meeting customer at the arrival gate and take them for the connecting flight, and checking at the gate, and checking at the air side, and checking at the other side, right? Before the going through security. And you will find from this video, the first one, what time does she start? Does she start? 5 o'clock. You know what? This is not abnormal. And most people start very early because their flight, when your flight is at 6 o'clock, your flight departs at 6 o'clock, but if you work for that, you have to be there at least 1 hour and a half ahead, right? So it's quite far ahead. And actually, last Friday, I was talking to one of my students who is working for Porter now as a checking agent. She said her schedule, and it's always 4:30 in the morning. It's because what? Okay, you see, like people don't like that schedule, right? But because it's a seniority-based system, and when you are lower seniority, it's a bidding system. The best schedule is all bidded by the higher seniority. So when you started, you probably get those not very pleasant schedule, but that's how you started, right? And then you started early, and then you finish early as well. Okay, so that's and also she talks about being smile, being that's your job. So are you interested in this kind of job?
They have really good flight benefits.
Yeah, they have very good flight benefits, and lots of flights they only pay. They are on standby, unfortunately, but it's free, so it's great. But are you interested in
Flight benefits?
the flight benefits? If you work for the airlines, and you can fly for free.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like for example, you work for Porter Airline, and all the Porter flights are free. The only thing is standby.
What's the wage like?
The wage is not that great.
Okay.
Yes, the wage is not that great, but that's how you started, right?
Above minimum?
Yeah. And so that's a checking agent, okay? So if you're not interested in that, they are hiring, like people like every year the Porter is hiring different airlines. And now, if you're not interested in this, it's another job. And Caesar, if you don't mind, can you... Oh no.
Do you know how much they make?
Okay. So this is a flight attendant job.
Hi, welcome to my house. Come on in. I'm flight attendant Grace. I've been with Cathay Pacific for over 3 years now. Right after I graduated, I was deciding, I thought, why not fly while I'm young? So right now, I gotta get ready. So follow me. Every time I put on my uniform, it's kind of like I'm playing a role, like a whole performance, a whole play. So when you're wearing the uniform, you have to act the part. Now I'm heading on to doing my packing. I already did my packing the night before. That's what I usually do for every flight. Key point is to pack light. And you're ready to go. So we're here now at Cathay City. That was around 20 minutes MTR ride and 5 minutes bus ride from my home to here. Thank you. Now we head in. So right here we look for the flight file. Today we're taking Fleet 101, so we look for the flight file here. There it is. And now we can head up to the computers. We're running. So here I just do my last minute checks to see, for example, my position for the flight.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to States 101 to Sydney. And before I start, please check your passport details. And Grace, day one.
Good altitude is a major factor of bringing good service to our passengers. Please be warm, friendly, nice to our passengers. When you talk to the passenger, provide our tone of voice, our body language, and using eye contact.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Rainy. Alright, so the flight time is quite long, so some of the passengers may want to get some rest in flight. To minimize the galley noise because the galley is very close to the cabin, okay? Speak softly and we'll check you.
So right here, you can't go along with me because I'm going on the bus, so I'll see you later in flight. The first thing we do is our equipment checks. So make sure we have all the equipment we need for safety purposes. After that, we start doing ground preparation. That includes setting up a newspaper, getting ready for the meal service, keeping all the drinks chilled, so we have dry ice for that. Before our passengers, we make sure the seat is nice and presentable. So we check the TVs to make sure they're serviceable. The seats are clean. Even when I was a kid, I loved to fly. When I applied for this job and then started flying, it's that new excitement every time the plane takes off. Mr. Wang, 请问你要哪一个？这个，意大利面。Whenever I see my passengers happy, I'm happy. Like a lot of people say, it's all the little things that count. But it's true. Also have the pork with XO sauce and rice and I think in there, as you can see, tomato and cheese fettuccine. I like to tell people before they ask. I just like to notice these little things and pick it up. First meal service, like for our flight today, we have 2 meal service. So between the first and the second, we do have time. We come back to the galley. We eat. Time to chit chat with our colleagues. Oh, good. Very smooth and happy flight. So after the last passenger has deplaed, we do after landing check, and then we head out as the whole group to the crew bus. We're here at the hotel. One good smooth flight. Check off my list. Haven't slept the whole night, so honestly I'm physically very tired. So looking forward to getting some rest. Thank you for joining me the whole time, all the way to Sydney. And hope you had fun and see you again soon.
So that's the Cathay Pacific Scissor. Can you turn on the light, please? Thank you very much. So that's the Cathay Pacific. That's a flight attendant. A day as a flight attendant. And did you notice that she actually came to airport very early as well, right? At least a couple of hours before, because they need to do the briefing, checking, all those kind of stuff. So it's quite long. And for this one, because Cathay Pacific is very similar to Singapore Airlines, and they don't have domestic flight. So all their flights are international ones. And this one is, she's flying long haul to Sydney. It's not super long haul, it's about 7 hours. And whereas if you fly to Toronto, it's gonna be 14, 15 hours, okay? So they have lots of long haul flights. And for her, and for this one, when you fly long haul, and you're gonna do this layover, right? You are not allowed to fly continuously for certain hours, right? So you do layover in Sydney. And in the beginning, when you start the job, the people love to fly long haul. And of course, you go to different places. And that's the benefit of this bigger airline. You have long haul flight. But I talked with some flight attendant, right, about flying long haul. Yes, they do like long haul. The benefit of flying long haul, guess is what? Because they are paid by hour flying time, right? So when you fly long haul 15 hours and you're paid that many hours. And then 1 month, you only have to do how many rounds? Maybe 3 or 4 rounds, you're done for the month. Then you're off. right? Whereas if you fly short haul, like Ottawa to Toronto, guess how many flights you're gonna do a day?
6.
And because it's only 1 hour flight, right? And you have to do the boarding and deplane and all those kind of stuff. So most people don't like a short haul flight, but that's where you start. It's a seniority system. It's on bidding. So the highest seniority bid the best ones, right? But as time goes on, you have seniority getting higher and higher. You bid for the good one as well. And of course, the layover. Some people say, I want Paris, I want Hong Kong, I want Tokyo, depending on the seniority, right? So that's about flight attendant. And some of our graduates work as flight attendant as well in Canada, as work for WestJet, work for Air Canada, work for Porter Airline, okay? And they always, you know what? Some people say, I want to work for Air Canada. It's not always the best to fly with bigger airline, because I'll tell you why. Most of bigger airline, when they start, they hire part-time. Part-time flight attendant is very hard because they only pay by hour, right? So that's why it's not really a bad idea to start with smaller airline like Porter Airline, okay? It's because Porter Airline, all the flight attendants are full-time job, okay? So it's quite nice. So their salary is maybe not high, but they have lots of benefits. Like, for example, flying benefit. If you love to travel, that's a great job. Did Bruno teach you? Bruno, yeah? He's working for Porter. He's a purser. And I taught him as well. He's hasn't been there for long, but because it's a smaller airline, so it's faster to get to the higher rank. So now he's a purser. And when you are flight attendant, it's different with airport staff. You have different benefits. When you're a flight attendant, you actually have more airline choices to fly for free. For example, Porter Airline have a partnership with other airlines, major international airlines, and actually he can travel with those airlines for free as well. But the problem is a standby. What does standby mean? You basically have to, good luck to be on the flight. If it's sold out and you have to wait for the next one. Sometimes you can wait for a week, depending, it's high season, right? So as a traveling standby, the better choice is low season, right? Okay. So that's a flight attendant job, and some students love to work as flight attendant. Especially, she said, when you are young, right? It's not an easy job, right, guys? It's quite tiring, flight attendant. Okay. So here we go, and so that's Cathay Pacific. So once again, let's look at their route map. We fly into Toronto and Vancouver. And you see here, guys, joint operating service and code-share services. So you see here, people from Montreal and Ottawa, they can fly with Cathay Pacific as well, either by code-share or joint operating system. What is a joint operating system? Is that they are working with another airline as a partnership. Okay, so another airline is helping them to bring people from Montreal and Ottawa to their hub, to Toronto. Then, from Toronto to Hong Kong is Cathay Pacific. That's called a joint operating system. Guess which airline is helping them between Ottawa and Toronto, and Montreal, Toronto?
American Airlines?
No, can't be American Airline, because what? Montreal and Toronto is domestic Canada, right? Porter? Maybe. It's actually for Cathay Pacific is WestJet is helping them.
Who just joined Porter?
I think Porter is with Qatar Airways.
Yeah, they just did it like recently.
Yeah, they did with Qatar Airways. Okay. So and the same thing, you see, Winnipeg to Vancouver, and this place. So people in Winnipeg, they can fly with WestJet or to Vancouver and continue their Cathay Pacific trip. And then when they fly into Hong Kong, they don't necessarily stop in Hong Kong. They can go to other places where Cathay Pacific or Dragon Air operates, right? So now let's remember I said partnership, right? So alliances and partnership. If you click this link, you will find okay. So this is Cathay Pacific, their alliance and partnership. So alliances, of course, is a one-word member. This alliance is a very close relationship. Okay, it's different with a partnership. Alliance is a very closer even. They do lots of code share. And if you go down, there is code sharing with other airlines as well. These airlines are not part of a one world, but they are helping them to finish to do that. The flights. For example, if you look at the bottom, you will see our domestic airline, which is a WestJet. So WestJet code share covers sometimes code share, sometimes not code share. They're just helping them. And it covers WestJet flight between Calgary, Edmonton, Halifax, Kelowna, Montreal, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Toronto, and Vancouver. So what does it mean is people from these cities, they are going to fly into Toronto or Vancouver with WestJet, then continue their trip to Hong Kong with Cathay Pacific. Okay? So now let's look at one itinerary. So this one, we are traveling actually Ottawa to this place. This is a place in Asia. Have a guess which country it can be?
Thailand.
It can be Thailand, but this is not in Thailand.
Indonesia.
Indonesia, yes.
Bali.
Which city? Bali, okay. Bali is a gorgeous
Most
place.
beautiful place.
Never been there before, but I've heard about it, okay? And so lots of Australians go there. Anybody knows why Australians love there?
It's close to Bali.
So close, because Bali is way down south, right? So it's where lots of Australians go there. And so Bali. What is a city? When you fly into Bali, which airport do you go? Study.
It was on a test.
Yeah, it's in the test.
Jakarta.
No, not Jakarta. Jakarta is DPS, Denpasar. They have to fly into Denpasar, okay? Jakarta is not, when you fly to Bali, you don't go there. You go to Denpasar, okay? So Ottawa to DPS, then back to Ottawa with Cathay Pacific. Again, the itinerary will be from Ottawa to where? Can you fly Ottawa to Hong Kong?
Vancouver.
You have to Ottawa to Vancouver. Actually, it's probably easier Ottawa to where?
Toronto.
To Toronto. Because always think about it. Ottawa to Vancouver, how many flights a day with WestJet?
2.
Not a lot. But Ottawa to Toronto, there are tons of flights, right? So it's always easier to use that short flight, then we'll continue that one. So Ottawa to Toronto with which airline? WestJet. Then Toronto to Hong Kong with Cathay Pacific. And Hong Kong to Denpasar with either Cathay Pacific or Dragon Air. Remember I said Dragon Air is a subsidiary, it's a discount airline, belongs to Cathay Pacific. So some short haul flights are operated by Dragon Air. Okay? So let's have a look whether that's first of all, I'm interested to know how much does it cost. Ottawa to Denpasar. Guess how much? Oh no, sorry. Cathay.
More than 2,000.
Oh, it's not available. It's not working for me today. Let's see Air Canada, does it work? No, so I can't do that. No, you know, if this happens, you know what I do? I sign off. Then I try to sign in. Now it's working. Okay, so sometimes when this $D is not working, then you sign off, then you sign in back. It might work. Okay, the system. So you see, it's not that cheap, huh? Even base fare is how much is that? $15.21. Flying with Cathay Pacific is not cheap.
It's always
Cathay Pacific is quite expensive to fly with, and there are many airlines flying to the same destination. You change the airlines, it can get cheaper. Okay, so Cathay Pacific is not the cheapest one you can choose, but they have one of the best customer service. So V class, let's see the flight. Denpasar with Cathay. Okay, no flight again, because of what? Because of schedule, right? Schedule. Okay, so let's see which day do they fly. Yeah, they do fly this day to Hong Kong, no problem. Let's see whether they fly into Denpasar. They do fly. Okay, so they fly to Toronto to Hong Kong to Denpasar. But how come this doesn't work? I'll tell you, remember I said there are two reasons, okay? One reason is the date. That day they don't operate, but I just checked schedule, they operate daily flight. Toronto to Hong Kong to Denpasar is all daily flight, no problem. And the second reason is because what? No, even sold out, it doesn't matter because it shows 0, right? It still shows. The second reason is because Cathay Pacific, because you only do plus CX, so what they only check Cathay Pacific all the way, okay? But from Ottawa to Denpasar, Cathay Pacific is not going to be operating all the way. And remember, with Ottawa to Toronto, which airline is helping it? It's WestJet. That's the one when you do dots plus CX, it doesn't work. But now I'm going to show you one. This is not going to be tested, but I'm going to show you. Look, huh? I do this. CX dot WS is dot or plus. Let's see. Yeah, it's dot. What does this mean now is that check from Ottawa to Denpasar, Cathay Pacific and WestJet work together. And is there any availability? Now it shows. It's because if you just do CX, the system will not give to you because they are not doing code sharing. They're doing partnership. So the first one, Ottawa to Toronto, you're not going to find Cathay Pacific flight, only WestJet. So that's why I do plus CX dot WS. Okay? So that will give us. So now look at the itinerary. That's exactly what we were thinking. Out of Toronto with WestJet, and Toronto, Hong Kong to Denpasar. And let's look at the flying time. Remember, Toronto is the East Coast, Hong Kong, Southeast Asia, so it's quite far, right? And let's see how long is the flight. No. Okay, so now, out of Toronto is not bad, 1 hour. Toronto to Hong Kong is actually 15 hours, 15 minutes. So this is one of the flight. Maybe you should think about some suggestions for your client, how to survive the long haul flight. Especially when you fly with some cramped economy class, okay? And you see it tells you movie, telephone, audio, whatever, duty free, and what. And so from Toronto, then we travel with Toronto to Denpasar. How long is flight? It's another 5-hour flight. So this is quite long, isn't it? Right? Thinking about going to that part to Bali, it's not a short flight. It's quite long. Okay. So that's so this is Cathay Pacific with from Ottawa to Denpasar. Okay. So that's the example I show you is about partnership. And sometimes it's code share. Sometimes you need another airline to help you, especially in Ottawa. Ottawa market, you will need a lot of help from other airlines to do the code share or partnership. Okay. So sometimes when you check dollar availability from Ottawa to some places, you find no flight. So think about 2 reasons why there's no flight. 1 is a schedule. 2 is the same airline will not operate all the way. You need somebody else to help. Okay? So that's for Cathay Pacific. Now we're doing Qantas Airways. Okay? Qantas is it's Australian airline and the national carrier in Australia, and of course, look at that. The Spirit of Australia and their route map. Okay, so this is an official route map I got from Qantas Airlines website. But look at this. They put Sydney to Vancouver as their route hub. It is actually not. They do not fly non-stop to Vancouver. They do not. They need to fly to Los Angeles first, then continue the trip to Vancouver. So there's no non-stop flight to from Sydney to Vancouver. Okay, only fly in 2 states. Okay. So that's Qantas, and you see they fly quite a lot. Fly Los Angeles, DFW, and New York. Okay, it is far. It is far. Okay, so let's watch a video about Qantas. So this one is fly the world's longest route in world class comfort. So that is officially the longest flight now. Okay, it used to be from
Singapore.
Newark to Singapore,
Yeah.
but now that one is cancelled.
It was 19 hours.
Yeah.
Non-stop.
Hi, I'm Captain Dick Tobiano, Chief Pilot of Qantas. This is a very exciting time for us as we mark the 60th anniversary of Qantas services to the US and launch the world's first Airbus A380 service from Sydney to Dallas-Fort Worth, making it the world's largest passenger aircraft flying the world's longest route non-stop. First, let's look back to 1954 when Qantas flew Super Constellations on the Southern Cross route between Sydney and San Francisco. The journey took about 30 flying hours with fuel stops at Fiji, Canton Island and Hawaii. Today, it's a non-stop service from Sydney to Dallas-Fort Worth and takes around 15 hours.
The A380 provides award-winning seats in all cabins. We know it's a long way across the Pacific, so we've made sure our customers have the most comfortable seats, hundreds of hours of in-flight entertainment, and the best food and wine experience in the sky. And we've introduced our first cabin on the route for the first time.
The A380 has a longer range than the 747. It can travel 14,800 kilometres, which will now see our return service operate direct to Sydney rather than via Brisbane. The larger aircraft also means we'll now offer 10% more seats on this popular route than we previously did. The Qantas A380 carries 323,000 litres of fuel, which would fill over 8 average backyard swimming pools. It burns 17% less fuel per seat than today's largest jets and produces around 60% less carbon dioxide than the average family car per passenger kilometre. We now offer A380 services to both Los Angeles and Dallas-Fort Worth, home of our partner, American Airlines, and together we offer our customers over 100 destinations across North America. Dallas-Fort Worth is also conveniently located less than 4 hours from every major US city. Qantas has a history of endurance. We operated the world's longest non-stop delivery flight for a Boeing 747 from London to Sydney in 1989, and we hold the record for the longest regular commercial flight time-wise from Perth to Sri Lanka in 1944. By operating the A380 to Dallas-Fort Worth, we're showing how we're putting our customers first and ensuring we have the right aircraft on the right routes.
So that's Qantas, okay? Qantas airline, it's about 15 hours, a little bit over 15 hours, so from all the way from Sydney to Dallas. Again, remember in this video, which airline is cooperating with Qantas? We mentioned which airline is operating? American Airlines, the same thing, but belongs to One World, right? So that's what they say, the very important location of DFW, because DFW is actually in the middle, okay, of United States, not like the center, it's the middle here to the east and west. So this is the perfect location. What they do is, when you fly Qantas to DFW, and you can continue your trip with American Airlines to any part of the United States within 4 hours. So that's strategically, they use DFW. Then continue partnership with American Airlines to anywhere in the States. Fantastic. Because if you fly to New York, right? And if you want to go to West, it's too long. So that's, they choose DFW. But still, they still have to Los Angeles and New York as well. Okay? So they use an A380. Again, it's the largest aircraft so far. They can jam many people inside. Did you notice the economy class in that aircraft? They don't look that comfortable for a 15-hour flight. I find it's very narrow. Did you find that? And then the red seat. Business class, different story. Most people travel economy. It's pretty tight. Okay? But there's nothing you can do. Airlines are actually getting smaller and smaller and trying to get more and more people, okay, to get in. So the price can get in lower, and this keeps the same. So now sample itinerary. So this one will be Ottawa to where? Sydney. Okay, this is a fantastic show. It's like in Ottawa, in Parliament Hill. Every summer we have the lightning show, right? In Sydney, the same thing. They have the lightning show in Sydney Opera House. Okay, fantastic different lighting. It's great. So from Ottawa to Sydney. So think about the route map. If we fly with Qantas, how do we fly from Ottawa to Sydney? From Ottawa to Chicago. Is Chicago their hub? No. So you have to fly Ottawa to where? To either Dallas or Los Angeles, or there's 3 hubs, remember? New York. Then with which airline? American Airlines, because that's their close partnership, right? Then continue from the hub to Sydney, right? So let's have a look and to see whether there's any flight, okay? And again, think about how long is a flight. Has anybody been to Australia or New Zealand? No, huh? Neither. Do you want to go? Yes, Mac wants to go, right? Yeah. You want to go to Australia, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Australia. It is far, and I think last year we have students is doing some kind of program in Australia. Okay, studying and working, I think. Okay, so let's see. Ottawa to Sydney with sorry. Oh my God, blank. What is called for Qantas? Oh, what's going on? Oh, QF. I did QF. Okay. Oh, okay. There's a reason why. Okay, so the QF doesn't work. Can be because what? Remember the same reason with the other one, right? So what I can do is QF and which airline? American Airlines. Okay. So here we go. And so this one you'll find. And you have 2 options. You can do American Airlines all the way. That's all American Airlines, right? But if you want to travel as a QF, Qantas Airline, you need to use American Airlines, help you to fly into a Qantas hub. So where's the Qantas hub? It's in DFW, right? Remember David was saying? So how do you travel from Ottawa to DFW? There's no non-stop flight. So you have to do Ottawa to Philly to DFW, then with American, then jump on the flight from DFW to Qantas to Sydney, right? So let's see how long is the flight. C we like a 4, 5, 6. So what is transaction to find it out? Star, SVC. What is transaction? Y, 4 star. Okay. So Ottawa to Philly, it's operated by US Airways. It's 1 hour 32 minutes. Philly to DFW, 4 hours. Wow, far. And what's the last flight? Look at this, guys. 16 hours, 15 minutes. It is non-stop. This is, remember they said the longest flight? It's a much longer than 15 hours, 15 minutes from Hong Kong to Toronto, right? Imagine getting on this flight. Really, we need some sleeping pills. Or some booze. Okay, so that's a long flight. And you see, it's a non-stop. Not even, there's no en route stop even, okay? So that's quite long. Think about it and remember the longest flight. When your clients want to go to Australia or New Zealand, tell them it's a long flight. And it's quite expensive. How much does it cost? Let's have a look, huh? Wow. Not bad. Okay? 1240 and 1340, half and half, right? I know why it's not bad. Do you know why it's not bad? Because it's a winter there. It's winter there, right? I checked in May, so it's almost winter there. So it's not too bad, huh? But again, This is only the base fare, plus all the taxes, it's still gonna be how much? $2,000. $2,000, okay? So that's from Ottawa to Sydney, okay? With Qantas. Excellent. And remember, think about the route map. Qantas fly into, not into Vancouver, they fly into New York and DFW and Los Angeles. Okay. Next one. Next one, we finished one word. Now we're going to the SkyTeam. Again, you will find I started from the largest one, Star Alliance. Many members I talk about, and the one world is getting smaller. I talk about those members, and SkyTeam is the smallest one I'm gonna talk about. So there are many airlines in SkyTeam. The SkyTeam, you will find they are very strong in South America, and in Asia they are very strong. They are very strong in China. SkyTeam. Look, China Southern Airline, China Eastern Airline, okay? So the both Chinese airline, they're very strong in Asia as well. But we only focus on Air France KL and Korean Airline, okay? So these are the three airlines we're gonna focus on, but for the codes, you still follow the carrier code schedule. You need to know the codes, okay? So one more one, Aeroflot is based in Russian airline. Argentina, straightforward. Air Mexico, Mexico. Air Europe is from Europe. Air France, KL, they're one company. Air France and KL, different airlines, but they are one joint group, okay? Alitalia from Italy. China Airline, again, I emphasize again, China Airline is not based in mainland China. Do you know the idea about China, the history? China is mainland China, is a big China. There is a Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau. Officially, Hong Kong and Macau belong to China, mainland China. Taiwan is not, officially, okay? So China Airline is based in Taiwan, Taiwanese airline, okay? Whereas China, Eastern China, Southern Airline belongs to mainland China. Czech Airline, Delta, Kenya, African Airline, KLM, same group with Air France. Korean Airline, same with Asiana, belongs to Korea. And MEA, anybody knows this airline? Heard about this? Which country?
Middle East Airline.
Yeah, it's Middle East Airline, but which country?
Saudi Arabia?
No? Lebanon. Yeah, Lebanese airline. So it's based in Lebanon. Beirut. Okay, excellent. And the Saudi airline, and Tardem, I think is Romanian airline. And Vietnam airline, and the last one is a very small airline. Xiamen Airline is one small airline in China as well. Very close to Macau.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And so here we go, but we only focus on these three, okay? Those are the major three. So let's have a look. Air France and the KL, we've already done a lot about Air France and KL. And you know what? Air France and KL fly a lot of flights from Montreal. Remember I showed you, from Montreal to Paris, how many daily flights? How many flights a day? There are 2 or 3, depending on the days. So there are lots of flights, okay? So their hub is Air France and the KL, they both fly into Montreal and Toronto. Okay? So there's a flight, Air France flight to Toronto, KL flight to Toronto and Montreal. But if you want to fly into west coast of Canada, only KLM operate. Air France does not fly into west coast. So you see this a lighter blue is KLM. Darker blue is Air France, okay? So again, we only worry about Canadian hubs, okay? So again, Montreal, Toronto, both airlines fly into, whereas West Coast, Calgary and Vancouver, only KLM, okay? So that's your route map. And let's see which video did I choose for Air France.
What if you could drop off your luggage without having to check it in? And what if you'll never risk losing sight of your luggage? Introducing the eTag and eTrack, helping you travel with more ease and less worries. The e-tag is an interactive luggage label that lets you drop off your bag without having to relabel it each time you fly. The e-track traces your luggage anywhere in the world, so you'll always know where it is. So, how does it work? It's easy. Link the e-track and e-tag to your Flying Blue account. The e-track will be activated prior to your trip, and your flight details will now be automatically sent to your e-tag. Are you ready for your travels? Just drop your e-track in your luggage and head to the airport. As your luggage is already correctly labelled, you can bypass the queue and drop it off at the designated drop-off desk. While on your way, you can now track your luggage using your smartphone. The e-tag and e-track come with fully customisable sleeves, so there's always one matching your style. The e-tag and e-track ideally go together, but are also available separately at flyingblue.com. Or take things one step further with the Samsonite Track and Trace Limited Edition with integrated e-tag and e-track. E-tag and e-track, your ideal travel companions, by Air France KLM.
Talking about the high tech, eh? This is cool. I didn't know this. And if I knew this, I would get one from last year when I traveled. Oh no, this summer when I traveled with Air France.
How much are they?
I don't know. I didn't check it. You know, it's interesting to know.
Yeah.
How much would you like to pay? How much? 30 bucks? You know, me too. 30 bucks, I can accept that. Anything over 100? No, I won't. Yeah, anything over 30, you generally say no. And but I find this is a cool idea, isn't it? And then you don't have to worry about, because every time I travel, they have to put the tag there, and you have to make sure once you finish that trip, you take the tag off, because it can be a problem, right? And now you don't have to worry about the luggage you lost. Well, you still worry about it. At least you know where it is, right? And you still know where it is. But my concern is that it only works for Air France and the KLM. If I fly with other airline, it probably doesn't work, right? Because it's linked to your Flying Blue apps. But if you are a frequent flyer of Air France and KL, it would be fantastic, right? So this is a neat service. I'm gonna find it out how much does it cost. I would be surprised it's less than 20 bucks. I'd be surprised.
I think it's gonna be
It says you can't buy it yet.
Oh, you can't buy it yet?
It's only being provided to a couple of airlines right now.
Uh-huh.
And then they give you a service charge for using the GPS service.
Oh, is that right? So, okay. Again, forget about it, I guess.
But they will be selling it too.
They will be selling it, right? So that's an e-tag and an e-track. But it's a fantastic idea, isn't it? So, but it's gonna cost some money. So that's Air France e-tag and the e-track. Okay, so that's Air France, and now the route map. I already talked about it. As no, next one is Korean airline. Okay, Air France itinerary we've already done a lot. We're not gonna do it again. The one thing I want to point out: remember, whenever you fly with Air France, KL, Swiss Air, okay, those airlines, chances are you are connecting in Montreal. When you're connecting in Montreal, most of the time, you are traveling by bus between Ottawa and Montreal, which is Ottawa train station, get on the shuttle bus to Montreal airport. Same thing, reverse coming back is the same thing. But on your airline ticket, it says Ottawa to Montreal. But remember, it's operated by bus, so clients have to do that. Okay? Sometimes, I'm not saying 100%, because sometimes you can have the option flying between Ottawa to Montreal or Ottawa to Toronto. But the price will be a little bit more expensive. Okay? It's cheaper if you travel by bus and it's included in your fare. So next one is Korean Air. That's the second and the last airline we're going to talk about for SkyTeam. So Korean Airline is their hub is Incheon International Airport, right? Incheon. And Korean Airline, look at their tail. Remind you of what? Yeah, I call it a Pepsi airline. Right? It doesn't look like, it looks like Pepsi, right? Pepsi Cola. And and this is a road map. They do fly into Toronto and Vancouver, two hubs. Okay, also same with Cathay Pacific. It's the same with Cathay Pacific. And you see here, the hub is Incheon. Incheon, like what I mentioned, it's a fantastic airport. to full connection. They have lots of good services for connections. So when people connect in Incheon, they find that it's very convenient. Lots of things to do. And also, you see from this route map, you can tell when your clients are traveling to other parts of Asia. Very convenient. They fly from North America to Incheon, and then you see how many flights to Southeast Asia and China and Japan and even to Australia. So it's an excellent connecting point. And like what I said, you can fly non-stop to Beijing. But if you fly with Korean Air, you can actually do some stopover, maybe stopover in Korea. Okay? And the price might be cheaper. Like I said, most of the time, non-stop flight is more expensive than connecting flight. Okay, so that's Incheon, ICN. Okay. So let's see which video did I choose for Incheon International.
Of our world is you. It's why our commitment to be the best in everything we do will always be all about you.
Excellence in flight, Korean Air.
What's that, Matt?
It's a very serious commercial.
Yeah, it is, right? But
It's very terrifying smiles.
is it? Which one? The blonde?
Looks like you're gonna get
Oh, the blonde one.
Plotting to kill you.
Yeah. And so this is a Korean airline, and you can tell the theme color is blue. Everything is blue, right? Even the eyes are blue eyes. So this is a Korean airline, and I always remember them as their chopstick thing at the back of their hair. Did you notice that? The flight attendant, they all have their chopstick in the back. So this is Korean airline, and in this commercial, they tells you which destinations they fly into. Did you notice which destination?
Paris.
Paris, yes, I noticed that. And another one? Did you notice Istanbul?
I can't get over the looks.
Oh, you can't get over. Which one is scary? I didn't notice that. That's not scary. This is pretty elegant. Oh, the blonde girl with drink. Let's see. This is not. The Paris, Istanbul, New York. Oh, this one. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. A little bit. A little bit. Well, you know what? They hide a professional model. That's all they look. You know, all
She needs to be less creepy.
That's true.
Someone should tell her to stop it.
Yeah. Oh, I think the models, they all do that. So that's Korean airline, Korean Air. Okay, flying to Vancouver and Toronto, the major gateway in Canada. And in the States, they fly to several places. And I don't worry about States. I only worry about in Toronto and Vancouver. Again, because they only fly into Toronto and Vancouver, doesn't mean people in Ottawa can't fly with Korean Air. Of course not. What do they have to do? They need another airline, partner airline, fly them into Toronto or into Vancouver, then continue their trip, right, to Seoul. Okay. So I've never flown with them. I've flown with the Asian airline because I collect aeroplanes, so most of my flights is all of my flights are Star Airline members. Okay, so I never flown with Korean Air. And let's look at the one itinerary. Okay, fly with the Korean airline. This one. Has anybody been to Korea? You did?
Layover.
layover in Korea, in Incheon International Airport.
Yeah.
Do you like the airport?
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's like blue color.
Yeah, it's the theme, yeah. Yeah, it's a good airport, right?
They always have like performance.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have like a piano and other performance in the center. It's a great airport for connection. And this is a place in Korea. And this is a famous island in Korea, and many, where's that?
Jeju.
Yeah, you know that? Have you been there before? No? Yes, it's a Jeju Island. And Jeju Island is very famous in Korea. It's because lots of honeymooners, they go there for their honeymoon. Okay? And this is a great, people when they go there, tourists, they always see this. This is I would say middle-aged ladies.
Korean ladies, they are very good at diving.
Yes.
They go down to the water and grab the seafood.
Yeah, that's right. They sell right there. So those are professional. They get the seafood there and they do the diving. And that's a Jeju Island. And so let's see if your clients want to travel from Toronto to Jeju Island. And what is itinerary? So what do you think of itinerary? This is an easy itinerary. Toronto to Seoul, then Seoul to Jeju Island. Okay? Jeju Island. So let's see. First of all, let's see how much does it cost. And $D, Toronto to CGU, validate. KE, Korean Air. See? When you fly with Korean, again, Korean Airline is not one of the airlines have a lower price. They're not very cheap to fly with. So you fly to Jeju Island, it's actually $1,500 before tax. Again, you're not only fly to Seoul, you continue up to Jeju Island. Jeju Island is down south, so let's see what is a flight option. KE. Okay, so you will find, again, like I said, you're connecting Incheon and then go to Jeju Island. So look at how long is it connecting in Seoul. Incheon is 3 hours. 3 hours is appropriate. And but look at the problem for this one. For 1, 2, and 3, 4. What is the problem? Why did they give you 3 hours? What's something special? Just look at the 1, 2.
Change of the airport.
That's right. You are changing airport. You are arriving Incheon International Airport, and then you actually have to depart your next flight from the other one domestic airport. Okay, so that's why you have 3 hours connecting time. I bet there's a shuttle between. Okay, so it's doable. And also look at the Korean Air 1231. They only have 4 classes of service. It's not like the international ones. They have a lot. Okay, so that's Jeju Island. Let's see how long is the flight. Y1 star. Oh, sorry. Did I do star? I didn't, huh? I did. Why it doesn't give me the... It's a 13 hours, 50 minutes from Toronto to Incheon. And let's see. It's only 1 hour from Seoul to Jeju Island, so it's not that far, okay? So that's Korean Airline, okay? Next one is, so we're done with One World and the SkyTeam, okay? So remember, whenever you study for the airlines, make sure you need to know what is their hub, where do they fly into Canada, okay? And also, when it's a sample itinerary, what do you think they're gonna fly? What is their possible routing? Remember, when you fly, if there's no non-stop flight direct from Toronto to Jeju Island with Korean Air, you must use their hub, okay? And the same thing, when you go back to study for the Star Airlines last week's lesson, the same way I organize it, okay? And for homework today, this week, you need to study week 8, city and airport code. Remember, there's no more carrier code anymore, so it's getting easier, right? And it's 2%. So this is an easy 2% to get it. And the online work is a SkyTeam. So you're going to study the SkyTeam on OTT School. Okay, so that's all for today. See you next week, huh?